Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Tammy Gillis, also known as Deputy Marissa on the hit show Siren, and I am hanging with your boy Galaxy on Comic-Con Radio.
You know, some nut tried to convince me that mermaids were real.
There are others, strong ones.
They can't stay here.
I know a place.
In the ocean, we move forward. Humans stay angry.
You're gonna help me get the one who killed my dad.
It is good for us here.
Family. Just trying to keep them safe. I'm tired of keeping your secrets. It could get ugly, man.
Rise like fire.
How many?
6. The oil company, they're looking for a place to drill. They can't go back in the water.
Humans stay angry.
Well, maybe I'm just tired of keeping your secrets. They don't belong here, man. If they find you, bad things will happen.
There's 4 of them, plus the other female from before. What are they doing here?
There's a disturbance in the water, sound waves.
They were forced out.
Beneath the ocean exists a world you can only imagine. A world full of beautiful, powerful creatures. Mermaids. Stealth-like, they avoid detection. They are predators by nature. Tribal beings who stop at nothing to protect their own. The song these sirens sing can drive you mad. But what most people don't know is they are shapeshifters. Driven to the surface, they take human form. A transformation so painful, some don't make it. Once on land, they adapt, learn the language, fit in. You wouldn't know if one was right in front of you. There is at least one mermaid roaming Bristol Cove right now. There are more in the water, and believe me when I say, more are coming.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing in for Comic-Con Radio. Coverage of pop culture events from around the globe. Amazing interviews with celebrities. Daily recaps and reviews of popular television. The Walking Dead. Z Nation. Van Helsing. DC Titans. Flash. The Legends of Tomorrow. Black Lightning. American Horror Story. Green Arrow. Movie reviews. Everything Comic-Con and fandom from around the globe. Comic-Con Radio. Get ready to enter our universe. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is your boy Galaxy on another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Today, we have an amazing actress from the TV show Siren. She's, of course, been on many shows all across our fandom universe and beyond. Movies and television shows and so many more things. Today, we have the awesomely cool Tammy Gillis on Comic-Con Radio. Tammy, what's up? How are you? Welcome.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. I know you've been busy with Siren and so many other projects, and now you're on, and it's cool.
Here we are. I'm so excited to be here.
That's awesome. So we have a lot to discuss because you are a fandom favorite on Siren. A lot of people love you on the show. I know you're just a police officer, but as intriguing as a police officer is not, you are.
Well, thank you for that. That's so sweet of you to say. Yeah, I love being on the show. It's so fun. We've created just a family on and off screen, which is pretty incredible.
I've noticed that. I've had the pleasure of having Rena Owen and a few other cast members on the show, and I've chatted with them. And they say the same thing. They say that you guys are like one perfectly lovely family there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really, really fortunate. The entire cast and the crew as well, we get along so well. And we spend a lot of time with each other outside of when we're shooting, celebrating people's birthdays and stuff like that. So we're really, really lucky.
How cool is that you were born in Canada and you get to work on amazing projects in Canada?
So lucky, so lucky. We're really fortunate to have like an amazing film and television industry here in Vancouver and across Canada. Like I've been lucky to have worked in Toronto and Winnipeg and Montreal as well as in Vancouver. So I feel very blessed.
So how is it growing up in Manitoba? Is it different from Vancouver? Is it the same?
Oh, no, it's completely different. I grew up in a town of about 800 people. So a very, very small town. And the seasons there are like different extremes. In the winter, it can be like minus 40 with the wind chill. And in the summer, it can be like plus 32 to 40s. It can get really, really hot and really, really cold. So Vancouver, it's generally like the winters are pretty mild here. It doesn't get very, very cold. And the summers don't get super hot. So in terms of the amount of people and the weather, it's very different. And
everything is filmed in Canada these days. It's like, where are you at, Canada? Where are you from? I'm Canadian. So I tell everyone, you have to get up in the morning and say, I love you, Canada. I love all the people from Canada because you are making my hit shows number one. Is that true? Should I do
amazing.
That?
I love that.
Hail Canada. Hail the Canadians.
Yes, absolutely.
That's funny. And, you know, it's like everything. Deadly Class, Arrow, Flash, Siren, and, Van Helsing. It's just like Canada. I'm from Canada. I live in Canada now. It's like Los Angeles is gone. I want to hear one guest this week say Los Angeles. I won't be able to get that.
That's so funny. Yeah, we're really lucky. It's like every time I go to LA, I end up coming back here and working. So, you know, at one point I was so lucky to be working on Siren, Ghost Wars, and the movie A Dog's Way Home all at the same time. I was just like, this is amazing. How does it get better than this?
It's crazy, right? And your current character that has you in the fandom universe is Deputy Marissa Staub for Siren. And you play it really well. And it looks like you, but it doesn't look like you. You play that stern role really well. Does it have a little bit to do with something inside of you? Did you ever want to be a cop, or no, it's just like that role, you can do it?
Well, it's interesting because this was the first police role that I've ever played. I sort of got a hint of like the authority, finding the authority figure in me in my role in Ghost Wars because I played a mercenary. And so we were constantly like battling ghosts and or people in the town. So I was constantly sort of bossing men around. But what's very interesting is that I feel like my costume, the uniform itself, helps so much because even when I'd be just on set and talking with, you know, random crew members or anyone else, I feel like they would act a little differently around me when I'd have like the gun and the badge on. I think it's like everybody has that preconception of a police officer, and you just sort of automatically, I think, kind of respect them. As soon as I put that uniform on, I felt like I carried myself in a little bit more of a masculine way and a more of a grounded way, if that makes sense.
Did you go home with that suit on? You're like, honey, I'm home.
No, that suit is so ugly. I gotta tell you, those polyester pants are something else.
Yeah, right. But, you know, maybe it's crossed your mind. I know you won't tell us. I know that. You know, Ghost Wars is an amazing TV show as well. It's one of those shows that creeps up on you and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Was it fun filming Ghost Wars during the season that you were on?
Yeah, it was so much fun. Oh my goodness. I love being on that show because the writers kind of had liberty to write kind of whatever they wanted. Netflix really left them alone in terms of their creativity. So from episode to episode, we never knew what was going to happen. So they always write in like the craziest stuff. But just being on the show itself, I had worked with a lot of the people, like the producers, the writers, and also a lot of the actors. So coming to work every day was so much fun because we just get to play with our friends. And then I got to do a lot of cool stuff. Like it was kind of like I was a little bit of an action hero, which I was like, this is amazing. What else can I do?
That's pretty cool. It must feel so good sometimes. Do you get on set sometimes and you're like, oh my God, I'm living my dream. This was like a high school dream that I had, and now I'm living it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I get to do new and different stuff that really kind of scares me and challenges me, I am so happy, rather than kind of just playing the same thing over and over. And I actually am working on a show right now. Unfortunately, I can't tell you which one it is, but it is in the fandom. And I'm doing some crazy stuff, and it's just so much fun.
You know, I see some of your images, and, you know, you being the hair color you're at right now to match your character in Siren and in Ghost Wars. But you as a blonde, you look so different. Like, if we didn't know that was you, you would look like a totally different person. You have that chameleon look. And I know that's probably why you're on this little special project in the fandom universe, because once the fandom universe kind of like puts their little marker on you, then they want you on every one of their shows. And you look so different, brunette, blonde, and then this current hair color. It just gives you a different look each time. Do you feel that every time you change your hair color, you feel like you're a different person and you can play that role differently? It like changes your persona?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And that's something that I've always been really conscious of, is to try to change up my look once in a while if I feel I'm kind of being stuck in a certain category. But I remember the very, very first time that I dyed my hair dark, because I've been blonde-ish and like obviously highlighting my hair to be blonder for the majority of my life. And then when I went to brunette and dark brown, I found that just people in particular treated me a lot differently, which was really interesting. It was like a psychological experiment that I didn't anticipate.
So were you treated better or with more respect, or how was the treatment?
Yeah, I was treated with more respect. I found like if I was in a grocery store and like paying for it at the till, people would say, "How are you today?" and look me in the face and actually care about my answer. Versus when I was blonde, I wouldn't really get that attention or care. It was really strange at first, kind of freaked me out.
Dang, that's crazy. So with just a simple hair color change, you got that. I'm going to change my hair color tomorrow, and I'm going to walk into a supermarket and be like, "Hey, baby, are you paying attention to me?" And they're going to be like, "Get out of here, dude. You're a tall-ass dude. Get out of here." Well, I stand out everywhere I go. I'm tall.
Hey, all attention's good.
Yeah, right. But that's cool, though, that you actually felt that. And it's kind of sad, though, but it's cool. It's sad that you have to be a certain hair color to get more, attention in a respectful way. But it's cool at the same time that you could, like, become a chameleon and just go anywhere and be like, today I'm going to do this, and tomorrow I'm going to be blonde again, and the next day a redhead. You could be a good redhead, too. I can see that. I see it. One of my producers just shot your face like 100 feet wide on a screen, and we put a red wig on your head right now, and it looks cool.
I'm like, oh, boy. I've always wanted to try out red hair, actually.
It'll look good. You have a complexion that can fit it really well. So hopefully you get a role with red hair, and then you could go to a supermarket and say, "Hey, how you going to talk to me today?" And we'll see what's up. And then you could take this data and then create a whole page and say, from my experience, this is what happened. And then you could write a book and then go from there. And then, I heard one of your biggest dreams is to open your own production company. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love just creating things and being a part of creating something. And I just feel like there's nothing like being on a film or television set. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to hang out on set, but when you hang out with like a really creative, collaborative group of people, it's so fun. And I feel like the film and television industry is a really unique and special one in the sense that our days are anything from 8 to maybe 20 hours. And generally people are still in pretty good spirits by the end of that day and or the end of a really long work week. Of course, I want to help create. I want to tell stories. And being an actor, it's tough because we have no control over what our next job may or may not be.
And in this way, you have control of everything. You can actually set the path of what you want to do. And that's a smart way to go because you're an actress and you're acting and you're on shows and you go show after show. But having your production company can fill in the gaps in between. And yeah, I've been on sets. I've been on many, many, many sets. I've been there with friends. I've been there to write stories, et cetera, et cetera. And I've seen what's up, and it's a lot of creative juices going around, and if you bottle that up, and the right creative juices, because some of them are not creative juices, some of them are just like crazy juices, but if you take the right people like yourself and you bottle that up, it could be something really amazing.
Yeah, you're so true. You're so right.
Some of them are cuckoo crazy. You're like, okay, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to go over there. I love the fans to death. I love them so much. They're part of me. I'm part of them. We're part of our universe.
God bless them. We love the fans.
Yes. God bless the fans. God bless Canada. God bless America. But be careful when you open a DM because it could be something that you cannot not remember anymore. It's just like,
you cannot unsee.
You cannot unsee it. It'll scrub your mind. There's some things I've seen that like I can't take out of my head. At nighttime, I like twitch. Oh my God. I remember that. And they lure you with these nice, cute little images on their page, and they're like, I'm the coolest person, and all of a sudden they're demons. You're like, oh my God, you just tricked me. I'm going to block your ass.
Oh my God, yeah. Delete and block.
They're there.
True.
Thick or thin.
True.
Just don't walk alone at night. So have you noticed like your fan following growing ever since Siren? Has Siren boosted that and Ghost Wars boosted it to another direction?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm grateful for it, like I love when anybody, even if you don't like, my character or what I do, I still appreciate you because at least like that's why I do what I do, is to tell stories and to affect people. And so when people let me know, if they love my character or if they don't love it, I still kind of love it. Of course, I want to hear more that they love it, but it's why we do what we do, like, so people watch it.
Well, what's not to love with your character on Siren? She's a very middle-of-the-road person. She's supportive to her boss. She's helpful. Yeah, she's being a cop. She wants to know what's going on. But, like, when you get your order, you're like, okay, you stand down, and you don't really kind of, like, be too pushy. I think that's why you're a fan favorite, because you fall in that line of just being there and making things happen, which is cool. A lot of fans love those kind of characters.
It is true because she is doing the best that she can with her job. She does have to pay attention to what the sheriff says while also still trying to be a part of this community that she's friends with these people. So I think if we go season 3, fingers crossed, we haven't heard anything yet.
It's going to season 3. Come on. Who are you messing with? I can't say anything because I already know where it's going. But I think it's going to go into season 3 because it's something really amazing.
Yeah, thank you. We hope so. Well, if we do go season 3, I'd love to see them throw some things in the mix for Marissa and see how she deals. That would be really fun.
Oh, yeah. I think in season 3, they've already picked the characters they're going to develop more. I feel you're one of them, and I think it's going to grow. So when you get your orders from Sheriff Dale Bishop, do you feel like, hey, Dale, sometimes you're making me stand down when I want to fight? Do you feel that sometimes with the character?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She has to bite her tongue a lot with the sheriff. But she also knows there's a line she cannot really cross with him. So it's like that struggle between, like how much longer can she look the other way?
Well, I hope in season 3 that kind of changes. We don't know. I know people think you guys know. You're waiting as well. An actor can get killed off in an episode even though they're contracted for the whole season. It's just so crazy the whole system of this, isn't it?
It's so crazy because, like, literally, we don't really know because the writers are in LA. And unless one of the writers has written the episode we're currently shooting, we don't really have a lot of opportunity to engage with them. So from episode to episode, we don't really know until we get the script. And even like I hadn't seen or read the script from episode 8, which was the mid-season finale. And I was watching it and I literally screamed out loud a couple of times because I had no idea what was going to happen. And I was like, oh my, what is supposed to happen?
That's funny. Were they like, hey, calm down. Calm down. It's okay.
It was so good. I was just like, oh my goodness, it was just so good. And Joe Menendez, who directed the episode, and he's the supervising producer, director, I can't think of the official term, and one of the co-executive producers, he directed that episode. And I was just like immediately texting him being like, my God, Joe, you just blew my mind with this episode. It was so good.
And he's like, that's right. You know.
Actually, yeah, he is, but he's like, Joe is like the most humble, most lovely, sweetest, kind man. And he was new. Oh no, he directed the episode or 2 last season. And we were just so grateful to have him be so much more a part of the show this season because he's just so lovely. And I just learned this, actually. He grew up wanting to be like an animator for Disney. So he storyboards all his episodes that he directs for our Siren, and they're so cool.
That's nice. With Siren, you could kind of really get into storyboarding because they are characters, you know, they're CGI, so in a way it's cool to do that. And if someone has that skill, that even takes it to another level. That's why the show looks so amazing. Like, you guys haven't cheapened the effects or the graphics or any of that stuff. It looks really cool, and I think that's the selling point. Also, you guys have Elaine Powell, and I heard that she created a lot of the crazy sounds and the speech tones for the mermaids, and everybody follows her. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Elaine is just unbelievable. She is so good in this character and this role, and she does set the tone for all the other mer people. Absolutely. And she's just so lovely and kind and takes time with people if they have, especially the new mer people this season, if they have questions about like anything to do with being a mer person.
That's cool that you guys have this sisterhood, brotherhood thing. You guys talk so lovely. I've spoken to Rena and Ilea and yourself, and you guys just speak so lovely of each other. And it's really great to hear because I get to chat with some shows and I talk to every single cast member, and you hear some cool things, or they're just like plugging themselves. But you guys are like, this person's lovely and I love that person. I know it's not the thing where, because you're going to have to see them and they're going to be like, hey, what the hell did you say? I know it's like deep inside from your hearts because, you know, sometimes as an actor, you're like, I don't give a hell what you think because you're doing your job and they have to do theirs. But you guys just love each other. And that thing that Eileen says, love, Maddie is love, Tammy is love. So
yeah, we're really, really lucky. And I don't take it for granted at all because I've worked on shows where it's been challenging, you know, working on a project and have to be conscious about stepping on toes or people getting upset about certain things. It's no fun. We work really, really long hours, and sometimes you're doing a show that is, you know, very physically demanding and it's exhausting. So to have to be like on guard that while dealing with all this other stuff, it's awful. And one of the biggest things I think about Siren is we all really love and are proud of the show. And we just want it to be so good for our fans.
That's really nice to hear. That's so cool that you guys care so much, and it shows. And that darn last episode was amazing. It was like full of action. Because see, when I see Siren, I expect drama, a little bit of mermaid, some love, some cool points, maybe a drug dealer here and there, you know, that one episode, you know, a little bit of action, a snapping of a neck here and there because the mermaids wig out. But that last episode was like full of action, last couple episodes. I really like that. I think the show should
Yeah.
have more of that because I think it's just going to add so much more to it. And I think it attracted a lot more fans because of those action parts. I don't know. I think so.
It was so crazy. I don't even know what's going to happen next. What is going on?
Yeah, it was crazy and it was cool. Like they
Yeah.
ripped off the
It was
pipe
so good.
and the ship went in the ocean and the mermaids were like working with them. It was like team kick butt under
Oh, yeah,
the
totally.
sea
And-
and above the sea.
And there's so many questions now about like the characters. Is the merman gone forever? And what about Calvin and Xander? That boat blowing up? What happened to them?
Oh,
So many
yeah.
questions. Exciting.
And also Nicole Martinez, Natalie Lynn, she plays that character. Like she just turned herself and like she cares now. So what's going to happen there? Like there's so many questions that the fans have. And I know yesterday you put a little thing out on Instagram saying if you have any questions. And we got some questions from fans. And that was kind of one of them. Like what's going to happen to, Natalie Lynn's character because she like wants to turn on the military because she cares about the mermaids. You know, that's a big question they have. And I was like, I don't know. I'm going to ask, but I don't think she can answer that.
I cannot answer. Sorry.
I know you cannot. Now, I know you guys film as the season is going because when I had the pleasure of chatting with Rena, you guys were shooting episode 10, 11, and 12, and she was in the middle of shooting, and she took time off shooting to chat.
We just shoot episode per episode. Generally, unless they have to go back and maybe like they rewrote a scene or they want to add something in. But we started filming season 2 last year in, I want to say end of May, maybe.
Wow.
And then we just wrapped a couple of weeks ago. They took a bit of a break at Christmas. I think we had almost a month off at Christmas, but that was the only time off.
So basically, you guys shoot through a certain time frame, and even if the season releases, you guys are still doing your shooting.
Yeah.
I think that's good, and I think they change a little bit as the season goes. Maybe they watch the episode and they're like, oh, what if I tweak this or that? That's a smart thing to do. I really think that's very smart because you can tweak and you can change a little bit here and there because a lot of these showrunners and writers are so sharp. I've had the pleasure of having Jonathan Walker on the show, and he's a new showrunner for Van Helsing, and they got ideas up the yin-yang. It's crazy.
That's so funny. I know Jonathan. Yeah, he's wonderful.
He's such an amazing dude, and I was so happy that he became the new showrunner for Van Helsing, and I think it's going to take that show to another level. Have you ever thought
That's
about
cool.
being on any of those shows, or no, you're set in these things?
Oh, no, of course. I'm open to all possibilities. That's the one thing that I love about being an actor is like I'm open to try any role on. And like there's sometimes roles that I get where I'm like, I don't know if I'm really right for this, but I'm going to just give them my version. And if they don't like it, hopefully they'll guide me to a better place.
You want to say something else, but you're just saying, hopefully they guide me. I love them. You're probably saying, stick it where the sun. No, I'm just kidding.
No, never. I'm always like, I'm really, really open to collaboration. And obviously, like, I want to serve the show and serve the story. But, like, we're really lucky on Siren, like Emily Whiteshell and Eric Wald. Like, Emily's our showrunner and Eric created it and is, like, one of the executive producers. They're really, really, like, they're so great and they're so smart. And the writing is just, like, pretty amazing. But we're also, like you were saying, we're a pretty heavy special effects show. So I think that part of the reason why they need a little bit of a break is so that they can catch up in terms of the post for the episodes. Like with the mermaids, if you watch some of the behind the scenes footage, it's incredible what they do. Like our special effects team is amazing. They make the mer people look so good.
Oh yeah, they looked absolutely real. Do you think after being on the show and seeing a lot of the issues that are in the ocean, do you think you believe in mermaids a little bit?
Interesting question. That's an interesting question.
Come on, answer.
I think the sea and the ocean is just so magical and mysterious that absolutely, for sure. I've been fortunate that, I've traveled a couple of different places and I've gone deep sea diving. And it's funny because I kind of grew up in the water. I was a lifeguard for a couple of years. So I spent a lot of my summer swimming, taking swimming lessons. So I'm pretty comfortable in the water, But when I cannot see, I get really claustrophobic. If I cannot see the surface, I'm like almost hyperventilating. I've run out of air 3 or 4 times on these deep sea dives. But when you're at the bottom of the ocean and there are these fish coming up and swimming right like up to your face and you're seeing all these magical things you've never seen before, I absolutely think, yeah, a mermaid could swim by at any point.
Actually, to be honest with you, a lot of the ocean things kind of like freaks me out as well because it's so massive and so powerful. It covers a big percentage of our globe. I tried deep sea diving and I was like, it's not for me, but maybe I didn't have the right trainer. But your answer is correct. The ocean's so humongous that you never know what lies there or areas that we can't get into. You never know what's up, right? Because we walk on land, we might be swimming underwater because they say lore started with, something. So maybe it just through time, handed down. But I don't think they look like Eileen and all these other people. They probably look like fish. And maybe some human character. I don't think they look like that. And especially coming out of the water, their tail just evaporates. This is more magical instead of, any of that other stuff. I think they look more like themselves in the water like that. But if the mermaids look like Eileen and all of these other actors and actresses, then bring them on down to land. Let's have them all come out. Let's have a big party. But be careful because they'll snap your neck, right? If you're too rude to them.
That's right.
So
that's right.
They won't. You know what else is cool? You play on this. You play, a sheriff on this TV show, and then on the opposite of it, you play, such cool characters on these, TV movies, and some of your movies are very romantic. How is it adjusting yourself to the two? Is it easy?
Yeah, I'm definitely willing to do it all. I feel like I can be a little like looser and a bit more free when I do the rom-coms, and I really love doing comedy versus when I play like the character on Siren. I also feel like on Siren and a couple of other shows, there's less dialogue, so that really changes how I act, and I'm very much more conscious of my movement, if that makes sense. It's just, I feel like for Siren with Marissa, there are less words, so she's more still, she's more aware in her body and of the environment and what other people are doing. So with the romantic stuff, I can just kind of loosen up and have a little bit more fun.
That's cool. That's a good answer.
Rom-coms are always fun because obviously I'm a bit of a ham. I'm an actor. I like to make people laugh. So I'll do whatever it takes to get some laughs out of people.
I've noticed that. I like those movies. You're in Wedding Bells and Unleashing Mr. Darcy and so many cool movies. Tiny House of Terror, Frozen in Love. You have a huge filmography. Like, I didn't notice that you've been on so many projects.
Thank you.
Like a lot of projects. Yeah. And it's really amazing.
And it's like one that sort of has now come up because Supernatural just announced that they're finished in their next season. Was like I had a little sort of cameo role on that in season 7. And
you played Kelly, right?
Yeah, I played Kelly. And what was funny is in this season, and I'm not 100% sure which episode it is, the Dean went to his heaven and there were all these pictures of women that were there. And so they contacted me and I had a picture in Dean's heaven that I had to autograph, which was so funny. But like Supernatural, it's for Vancouver, is an institution. 15 seasons is incredible. And it just did so much for the film and television community here. We were really lucky to have it.
Well, we think that Supernatural opened that door for Canada to be known as the hub to create a lot of these fandom type of TV shows. I think that was the starting point to myself, which I've been around a little bit and I noticed these things and I saw that. And Supernaturals is kind of the pavement. And now it's like such an amazing thing over there. Some of our favorite shows are Arrow and Flash, like I mentioned earlier, and Van Helsing and all that. And there's so many more TV shows, Umbrella Academy, and there's a new one coming out called Wu Assassins, and Black Summer, which is the prequel to Z Nation. There's all these cool TV shows, and I think Supernatural started that. Hey, this is Canada. We're great at what we do, and we support this universe.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah. It was a really cool concept that they had, and they made the show look so cool. And the two brothers are so cool with their car. And I really enjoyed working on it. My scene was entirely with Jensen, and he's so lovely. And they're both so Texan. I think it's, I actually lived in Houston, Texas for a little while. So we talked a lot of football and baseball.
Are you flustering?
Was I fangirling over him? Maybe a little bit.
Are you fangirling? Oh, that's so cute.
They're really nice guys, and what a family they created here, the Supernatural family. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah. So for you, Supernaturals, you only went on one episode. I heard on Supernaturals that you can rotate every 2 seasons and come back on. You didn't try to go back on, huh? You just wanted to go for that.
Well, actually, I auditioned for a couple of years after I did that, and Jensen was actually directing the episode. And I walked into the audition, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Hi, Tammy." He's like, "I think it's too soon for you to be back." The fact that he recognized me the second I walked in the room, I'm like, yeah, okay, here we go. So
it felt good and bad, huh? You were like, yes, you recognized me, but suck. I can't go on.
Who knows, though? One last season, maybe I'll get in there. I look different because my hair was super blonde and really short. So you never know.
You never know. And if you get on Supernatural's last season, the fans are going to love you forever. They're going to roll up on you everywhere you go because you're on 100 fandom shows. And especially that new one you said that's coming out that you can't tell us.
I cannot tell you. I'm dying to tell you, but I can't tell you. I talked to the producers, and they were like, you can't say anything yet. I was like, oh, it's the perfect time to announce it.
Well, usually when I chat with yourself or actors in general, I don't like to squeeze anything out of them. But when I get showrunners or directors and writers, I squeeze them like an orange. And it comes out of them. And they know what they can say and they can't, because they won't get in trouble like you guys do.
Right. That sounds like last year when I was in LA, and a whole bunch of us had just live tweeted an episode at the FreeForm office, and we cornered Eric Wald and RD, who's one of the producers as well, in the elevator because we hadn't heard if it had been picked up for a season 2 yet. So me and a couple of the other actors, I think it was Ian, oh my goodness, who else? But we cornered them in the elevator because they were trapped, and we were like, "Come on, give it to us. Is it going a second season or not?" And they were so cute. They were like, "We don't know. FreeForm hasn't told us nothing." And we're like, "Yeah, right." Because then they announced literally 3 days later that we were renewed. So
they know everything because they get their budgets. That money doesn't come that easy. Those monies takes weeks to transfer and months to get budgeted. So they know what's up. They just can't share it because you never know who has the loosey-goosey lips,
That's very true.
Yeah. So is there anyone on the show that you've gotten really close with?
Hannah, who plays Janine, and I have become pretty close. We hang out all the time. The other, the main cast, it's sort of tough for them because they work so much. But I've become really good friends with Gil Birmingham, who plays the sheriff, because the majority of my scenes are with him. So
he's a cool dude.
He's super cool, and how he is in real life compared to his character is so different. There are times where obviously he has to be really stern and a boss man on the show, but he's so laid back and chill in real life.
He reminds me of my uncle, or an uncle for everyone, doesn't he?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And then, of course, Rena has become a mother to all of us. We just adore her. And she's just so positive and kind.
Yeah, she's the bomb. She's cool.
Yeah. But everybody's so great. And like whenever we hang out, like it's usually like a whole pack of us. So
dang, you guys go on town and everybody's like, "Oh, that's the Siren people." Yay.
we don't generally go like out. We usually like keep it, to someone's house.
That's
because
cool.
Before we started shooting last year, a whole bunch of us went to the beach at Kit's Beach, and I think some people found out because obviously Alex is pretty recognizable, and they were sort of getting a little bit of like some attention where we were on the beach. But we had, oh my goodness, the last time the majority of us got together was for Aline's fiance's birthday, and she created this game that was all about Siren. And so we were split into two teams. And so you'd have to get up and she'd give like somebody's dialogue, and then you'd have to guess which character said it. It was so fun that we're like, you need to create this game and like sell it, because we had so much fun playing it. We think the fans would love it as well.
That's cool that she created a game just for you guys, kept you guys in the loop. And it's kind of cool that you guys have such a cool teamwork, family type of, structure going on over there. And it's really nice to hear, because you said that and Rena said that and so-and-so said that. And it just shows that you guys are doing something magical. And that's why the show is doing amazing. Is there anything you want to share with the fans before we start heading out, or say anything to the fans before we start heading out?
Just thank you so much for your support from the beginning to now. It means the world. Like, hearing from the fans is amazing. And it's like, I love social media and I hate social media. I love social media because it gives us the opportunity to really engage and hear from them all, you all. And so we love that. And some actors are not super, super comfortable on social media, and that's okay. But know that even if some of the actors from our show don't really engage very much on social media, it's not because they don't love you. They love you. It's just they're so busy creating this beautiful, magical show. So thank you for your support. Keep watching Siren. Keep tweeting about it. Tell FreeForm you want 800 more seasons. More Deputy Marissa.
That's it. And those are words well said. You put it the right way. They're busy. They still love you. And let's get the Watch Live hashtag. We created that a while ago, and it's working for a lot of shows. And the fans are doing hashtag Watch Live on all the shows now, because you need the ratings. On watching the shows on the app is amazing, but watching it live is when they get the ratings, and that's how you keep them on. So you never complain, oh my God, what happened to the show? It's because you got lazy and you watched it on an app. So let's watch it live.
I love that. Watch live. Woo!
Yeah, hashtag Watch Live. Actually, our network created it a few years ago, and it's gotten so popular now. So let's do that. We've done it with Van Helsing and so many other shows, and I think they keep going and going and going, and Siren's going to keep going. You're on an ABC network that loves the show, and the fans love you guys. So I hope it goes into seasons 5 and 6, and we'll see from there.
I love it. I'm going to start using the Watch Live. I didn't know that existed.
Yes.
Hashtag Watch Live. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. So with that, we're going to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is your boy Galaxy with Tammy Gillis. The lovely Tammy Gillis on another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Tammy, ready? Let's blow some kisses to the fandom universe. 3, 2, 1. Mwah! A billion kisses. Wow, look at all those kisses you got. Those were blonde, brunette, and redhead kisses. Keep them in your pocket when you watch the show. Pull them out and use them however you want. And we love you guys. And peace.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Tune in for your daily shows of Comic-Con Radio. Go to comiccon-radio.com. Reach us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Comic-Con Radio. You can call us toll-free right now. 800-976-0305. 800-976-0305. Comic-Con Radio, taking the world one listener at a time.